Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa alihi at-tahirin. We are continuing our lectures of points about spirituality, akhlaqi points, and irfanic points. So, in the last lesson, I was talking about having thought that our impacts us due to the thought of the Creator in a way that we can worship Allah the Exalted with joy. So we must have a kind of positive thought about Allah the Exalted. Now, there can be many, many areas where we can say that we should have positive thought about Allah the Exalted. We should have positive thought about Allah the Exalted in everything. So, but it was one thing that we can reflect on here is for positive thought, someone may influence their thinking by reflecting upon the fact that all this vast creation, all this meticulous organization, all this well-designed masterpiece of creation was created out of just Allah the Exalted doing it without any preconceived pattern, without any pre-made pattern to go off of. Just Allah the Exalted in His knowledge, in Himself, knew He's doing this and He did it. So it's not based off of another model, like when people assemble things, they base it off of a model. When they get a phone, they base the new phone off of an old model, as example. So you're basing things off of models, of things already created. There was nothing at all created before Allah created things. So this is the point here. This is what I want to try to get across. That when Allah the Exalted created creation, there was nothing called creation to base it off of. Allah the Exalted created it. He, the Exalted, willed to create it. And it was made solely and completely and absolutely dependent and needy on Him, the Exalted. We, the creation, are all poor. We're all fuqara. We're all in poverty, and Allah the Exalted is the rich. All creation are what we term in philosophy as mumkin al-wujud, contingent existences, meaning they are dependent and needy things. And Allah the Exalted is, as we term in philosophy and theology, wajib al-wujud. He is the needless, which all things need. He is the self-sufficient, and all other things are insufficient, are needy. He is the independent, and creation is the dependent. No matter how perfect that creation is, it is still needy, limited, and it's not Allah the Exalted. It needs Allah the Exalted. So Allah the Exalted has willed this creation, has created it, manages it, is in control over everything, allows the room to move, which we move in, to be tested. Nothing at all is out of order. Everything is going to its destination. It's only we don't see it. Everything is moving in the line according to His wisdom. There's no avoiding it. There's no stopping it. There's no turning it off. This creation has an aim, and there's a plan to it. That planner is Allah the Exalted, and the aim is our destination to which we are going. So Allah the Exalted has created all this creation, has given us the ability to make choices, to be able to be tested to see which one of us are best in deeds. And some people don't go to hell, some people don't go to paradise. This is an advanced masterpiece, an advanced system. It's like a filtering system for human souls, for development, for improvement, for achievements, for value, for success. All in line with obtaining the mercy of Allah the Exalted. So, Allah the Exalted, everything is dependent on Allah the Exalted. Everything needs Allah. Everything needs Allah for its initiation, for its beginning, and its survival. It's not like Allah created it and then left. No way. Everything needs Allah for its beginning creation, its initiation, and its survival continuously and maintaining it constantly. So we're continuously, every single second, millisecond, needy for Allah the Exalted. And He is the one maintaining us. If Allah didn't will it, we cannot even move a finger. Yet we misuse the things in a way that disobeys Him, and we fail the test. Everything that we have, that we think we have, is depending on Allah the Exalted. Okay. So there was no previous creation pattern to copy. Allah didn't copy it from some other previous creation, nor was it a forming of previously existing things. You know, when Allah created creation, creation became. There was no created things before that to put together and make this creation. Allah the Exalted created things. Now, of course, Allah the Exalted creates things within the created things, and as it's continually survival and it's maintaining and He's creating, and it's a masterpiece. So it's these words. Hopefully, you understand that there's a vast opened understanding here that you could understand. Okay. Anyhow, in Najl Balagha, it says in Sermon 1, He initiated creation most initially and commenced it originally without undergoing reflection, without making use of any experiment, without innovating any movement, and without experiencing any aspiration of mind. He allotted all things their times, put together their variations, gave them their properties, and determined their features, knowing them before creating them, realizing fully their limits and confines, and appreciating their propensities and intrinsicies. It's just a transinterpretation of it. Arabic is much better. So one way for positive thought is to reflect on the fact of creation itself. What has happened here? What has happened here? How this creation happened? From who created it? This is a way to have positive thought about Allah the Exalted. One of the ways that we have positive thought about Allah the Exalted. And the more we learn about Allah the Exalted, the more we should be able to positively think about Allah the Exalted. So you have to understand Allah the Exalted is all wise, Allah the Exalted is all powerful, Allah the Exalted is all knowing. The more you learn and free our minds from those limits that we misconceptions that we have about Allah, or ignorances that we have about Allah, the more, inshallah, it should impact us. If our hearts are soft, even some, it should impact us to have positive thought about Allah the Exalted in different areas. So now, since we're on the topic of positive thoughts, we should also have positive thought about others. We should think positively about people. Positive relations with people. We should have positive relations with people. We should not be so rough that we cannot interact in gracious, kind manners. We should be nice people, good people. So we should have positive relations with people. We should not be fault finding on people. We should not be tracking the mistakes of people. We should not be slandering people. Slandering is saying something not true about someone. There's some details in the fiqh, but this is a slander is something that's not true. You accuse somebody of something, it's not true. You say so and so is he drinks alcohol when it's not true. It's made up. That's slander. Riba. Riba is backbiting. This one should also not happen. This hurts positive relations. Riba is revealing somebody's hidden defect. You know something which is a hidden defect of somebody, and you go tell it. These things should not happen. These things should not happen. So we should have positive relations with people. We shouldn't be fault finding. We shouldn't be tracking the mistakes of people. We shouldn't be slandering. We shouldn't be doing riba, backbiting. And also, we can be having a kind of diplomacy, even with non-Muslims or Muslims of other theological schools. We could be having a kind of diplomatic relations. Diplomacy is maybe an important notion here. Okay, you have to have a kind of diplomacy when interacting in the world sometimes. Not everybody is going to view the same way as you do. Not everybody is going to accept the same way as you accept. You can't force people to always think like you. You can't always impose yourself. So you have to have a kind of diplomatic interaction. Yes, we can't agree with everything. We don't say that everything that everybody does is right. But we could have a diplomatic kind of relation and find some common ground to get along and try to improve the situation. We shouldn't be so closed off where we cannot improve things. We should work in the Muslim benefit. How can we secure the Muslim benefit amongst us? So we should be looking out for the Muslim benefit, not just closing the door and letting all the Muslims have no benefit. So we should be looking for the Muslim benefit. To do that, you have to have a kind of maybe diplomacy sometimes. You got to kind of be diplomatic or interacting in a positive way, having dialogue, trying to improve for the benefit. You can't be really, really rough. You have to be seeking the good outcome. So you have Muslim benefit. Some scholars suggest to work in the Muslim benefit, and I don't know if they may disagree at different levels of it, but it becomes very important. Some scholars have very important views on working in the Muslim benefit. So sometimes interacting with people is in the aim of a better future, right? So even though we may not agree with everybody, sometimes interacting with them is in an aim of having a better future together, in the aim of having a peaceful coexistence, in the aim of better relations. Otherwise, people be left in their misconceptions about Muslims, about Shia Muslims, about other people, and they will be being left in such misconceptions will be a breeding ground or a fertile land for hatred, fertile land for bigotry, fertile land for racism. And such things should not be happening. Many misconceptions are out there, and we have to approach them in a positive way, seeking a better future, seeking for the betterment of humanity, seeking for the betterment of people. So how do we do that? By interacting with people at a positive level. So, of course, again, we're not going to agree with everybody. We're not accepting everything everybody does. But we have to have a common ground and interact in a peaceful, coexistent manner. So we have a hadith I mean, this is something we struggle with amongst our fellow Muslims, among Shia Muslims. One side attacks this scholar, one side attacks that scholar, one calls this believer this, one calls that believer that, one attacks this, one does. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is not Islamically right. This is wrong what people are doing. Look at this reliable hadith from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. This is a reliable hadith. I've checked the chain here. This is from Ali ibn Ibrahim al-Qumi, the teacher of Sheikh Khulaini. He's the author of Tafsir Qumi. This is in Al-Kafi, by the way. From his father, Ibrahim ibn Hashim al-Qumi. From Hamad ibn Isa. From Ibrahim ibn Umar al-Yamani. He's a trustworthy, thiqa narrator. From Abu Abdullah alayhi salam, from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, who has said the following: when a believer accuses his brother, Iman melts away in his heart just like salt melts away in water. Just like salt melts away in water, Iman melts away in his heart. Don't accuse your fellow brother Muslim. Don't. Pull back. Don't spread mischief. Don't spread haram. Don't accuse him, either privately or publicly. Do not do it. Stay away from it. This is the melting of your Iman. Pull back. Don't be a fool. So this is in Al-Kafi. You could see it if you want. It's in volume 2 of Al-Kafi. According to another reliable hadith in Tafsir Qumi, actually, not everything in Tafsir Qumi, there's different views about it actually, but not everything in Tafsir Qumi would I consider as reliable. But in Tafsir Qumi, there's a hadith with a chain of narration. And this hadith is reliable as far as I can tell. And this hadith is the hadith of the Miraj. You can find it also. There's a little booklet about the Miraj compiled by Faith Kashani. Is the student of Mullah Sadra. He's compiled many hadith. He had compiled some hadith about the Miraj. And the translations may not be the best in wherever you find it, whether it's there or somewhere else. But he compiled most of that book is this narration about the Miraj. Most of it, not all of it, but most of it is one narration just split up. So in this narration is in Tafsir Qumi. So according to a narration, and this narration narrated through Hisham ibn Salim, another trustworthy narrator. In this, it's a long narration. It talks about some of the things that Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi seen in the Miraj. So anyways, in this hadith, in Tafsir Qumi, there is in this hadith in Tafsir Qumi, it mentions that there is an angel up there who's made of fire and ice. This angel's made of fire and ice. Allah caused this harmony of fire and ice to exist in harmony. This very angel, he prays for the believing servants, harmony between their hearts. He says like, oh Allah, Allahumma, just like you made this fire and this ice have a kind of have a harmony here. Make the hearts of your servants. Make the hearts of your servants. So see, what are we doing? Which line are we walking in when we go and accuse our believing brothers or our believing sisters? Are we causing disharmony or are we working towards harmony? We should be working towards harmony. Recheck your motives before doing it. Put aside the misconceptions, the wrong thoughts. Seek to repair the situation. Seek to mend people together. Seek to have a better future together in the aim of good, in the aim of ubudiyah, in the aim of harmony. Again, of course, we cannot accept everybody's ideas. We cannot accept that some things are prohibited, some things are wrong ideas. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying to accept those things. I'm saying to have harmony amongst each other. Treat people with positive thought. Give excuses to your believing brothers. And do not falsely accuse them. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.